like I mentioned earlier, like I've struggled with mental health, and like this kind of starts out negatively, but like it gets positive. I promise.
Yeah.
But when I was a freshman, I really worked myself to the bone. This is in high school. So I was 14 years old. And so I was playing 5 sports. I was on the basketball team, cross country team, tennis, swim, and 2 hockey teams. And like I was one of like the captains on practically all of them. And it took such a toll on my body mentally. I never had time for myself. I was always running from point A to point B. I think at one point I went from like 5 in the morning with swim practice till like 9:30 at night with hockey. Um, and so like I kind of started going down a deep hole, and like I kept digging myself deeper. Like I wanted to keep my grades up. So like I would study late, and then I was like president of my class, and I was just like, I went to my mom, I was like, I can't do all these things. She's like, okay, quit one of them. And then that was like, I hate quitting. I like, it's just not in me to just quit something up and out of the air. Like I usually fall through with it, even if it's like causing me pain. And that year I learned, I was like, I have to say no to things. Like I wanted to run cross country, couldn't, because it was taking a toll on my body. It was taking a toll on my mind. And then I had to drop out of like a few other sports. And I was like, okay, like this is what I need. And I would say like it got to such a bad point that I like no longer wanted to live. And I think that's where, for all the parents listening or even the kids that like see friends doing all these things, like I was such a happy person. Like I'm super outgoing, even though I like have social anxiety and all of that. But it's like even the people that look super happy and that are doing all these amazing things, quote unquote, they're still going on with something. Like you mentioned that even with like talking to coaches and all of that. But parents, like you have to look for the signs, like check in with your kids, or kids check in with your friends. Like everyone's going through something, and sometimes it's not always easy to talk about it. And so I didn't know how to talk about what I was going through back in that day, but it's like why I'm so open now to talk about mental health and depression, because I'm like, I don't want another kid to go through this. And like, even though my life looked super great in college too, like I still struggled a lot. Like I may have been captain, but I was depressed. When I first transferred to BU, like I should have been like fireworks flying, super happy. And I was just super stressed out, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I was always working hard, but I was like crying myself to sleep at night. Um, and I'm super grateful that because of what happened to me when I was 14, I had the courage to speak up when I was going through it at 19. And so like the coach was like, take the time you need. Told my trainer, I was like, I can't go in today. I can't work out today. I'm like, I just don't feel myself. Mentally, I'm checked out, and I just like, I need a day. And so they gave that to me. I decided to go see a therapist during my junior year, beginning of my junior year. And I think that made all the difference. Like it literally saved my life because of what had happened to me when I was 14, and like knowing that I could battle through that. And like now that like I talk about it, I'm a lot better with dealing with my emotions and like understanding when a depression episode could be coming, because like I'm already predisposed to it because of my family and like everyone that's dealt with it. But that's why I think kids are super open to talk to me now. And like I don't know if you're on TikTok, but I had a TikTok go viral. And it was about female athletes and like having someone to reach out to. And I was like, if you need help with your journey, whether that's mental health or with training or with college or recruiting or anything like that, like my DMs are open. And I got thousands and thousands of DMs, both on TikTok and Instagram. And it was crazy to see that little girls that were 13, 14, 15 going through the same exact thing that I went through. And like I was able to help them through it because I'd been through it. And so like I'd say it's positive because your pain becomes your purpose. And the pain that I experienced when I was younger and throughout college like is now helping other people. So boom.
Great. Yeah, no, for sure. Like you said, you promised from a negative to a positive there. No, that's happy for you that you shared that. And it sounds like you're very, very active, 5 different sports, like you said, and it sounds like a captain or leader on all those teams, and really, really overworking yourself physically and mentally. But yeah, and just want to make the viewers aware of your podcast. You're the host of the Unpaved Path podcast, also to like a mental health advocate, of course. And do you want to talk a little bit about your company and your podcast?
Yeah, so it all kind of plays in to each other. I didn't realize it until once I made everything, but the Unpaved Path is, I specialize a lot with female athletes because I think for me, growing up without a female mentor or someone to talk to, like that's super important now because those resources still don't seem to be around, which is kind of crazy because it's been like 10, 15 years since I started growing up. And so I created Female Athlete Society, which is on Instagram. We have like our own community, a private community, which has over 300 girls from 15 different countries around the world that play practically every single sport you could imagine, like even badminton. And not underwater basket weaving, but we have like netball, which is a European sport. Like it's super cool. And so girls get to ask questions. They get to talk to us. We post resources every single week. We have a nutritionist, strength coach, and then we have 2 college students who are getting their psychology degrees. And then there's me, who's just like one of the mentors that floats around and helps like in every single aspect. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like these girls feel really comfortable to come talk to us, which I think is something that like I don't think I had. I never felt super comfortable talking, but like it's nice to see that people are willing to reach out now. And it's kind of just like a close knit community. Like we don't have to censor ourselves because something's happening. Like if somebody's having issues on a team, we're like, okay, let's talk about like what's going on. Let's break it down and like let's work through it and let's see what you can do and what you can take back to your team. So basically, what mentors have done for me is like what now I'm doing for younger girls. And so I'm super grateful to have a team of really talented girls that are helping me with it because I would not be able to do this alone. It is a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding at the end of the day. So there's that. And then the podcast is called The Unpaved Path, like you mentioned, and it's about showcasing female athletes' journeys and the lessons they learned away, difficulties, and just what they want the next generation to know about their journey that could potentially help them. And it's been pretty good so far. Like I've had a lot of great speakers, and I'm looking to get some more on too soon.
Yeah, no, that's great. And is there, you have a website that they can contact you or look you up on social media and all that?
Yeah, so my website for my personal account is reaganrust.com, but then there's also the femaleathletesociety.co. They can reach out to me either way. And then on Instagram, it's ray.rust, rea.rust.
Okay, great. Is there anything finally that you want to conclude with?
Yeah, I'd say if you want something badly enough, you're going to make it happen. And to not stop believing in yourself. Literally just believe and put great things out there and be a good teammate and be a good person, and good things are going to come your way. It's just about framing.
Yeah, no, those are excellent words, and just goes to show, yourself, being from Mississippi, not many rinks, hockey not too popular there, like you said, having to travel outside of the state just to hockey practice, to games, to teams, and the commitment level that it takes. It's, you have your own special journey, of course, and you've proven that it can work out for all these younger players, that kind of go back and forth. I know when I was young, I was going back and forth, even though I knew from at a young age I wanted to play in the NHL. But you're kind of going like, oh, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? That you go through those little phases, and I think that's normal in life to question. But you just stick to that path and stay focused, and here we are today chatting about, our experiences, and we're very fortunate to have you on. So thank you very much for coming on with us, and good luck with the rest of your podcast, and